We are so very blessed in our diocese with 10 men studying for the priesthood. And we're most especially blessed from our parish, St. Benedict and St. Elizabeth of Hungary, because one of those 10 men is from our parish. He is 6'8". He towers over me. I feel like a dwarf next to him. And so, even though his name is Peter, I gave him a new name. I call him Pipsqueak. The thing about names is you can't give yourself a name. Someone else has to give it to you, especially if it's a new name. And that happens for one of Jesus' apostles, Simon. Simon is a very simple fisherman, but he makes an incredibly profound insight when Jesus asks his disciples, "Who do you say that I am?" And without missing a beat, Simon says to Jesus, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." And because God himself has revealed this to Simon, and it could not have been thought of or fashioned by human thinking, but solely of revelation, Jesus says to Simon, "Behold, you are now Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church." Jesus gives Simon a new name, and that name is Peter, meaning rock. Now, notice, a rock isn't a boulder, and it most certainly is not a mountain. Comparatively, a rock is significantly smaller. It's almost as if Jesus is calling Simon Peter Pipsqueak. But nevertheless, Jesus will do great things through this rock. My dear friends in Christ, the Holy Spirit works through Simon Peter because he opens himself up entirely to the promptings of the Holy Spirit. At Pentecost, when the Holy Spirit comes down upon Peter and the apostles, Peter leaves his entire life behind him and makes preaching the good news and leading the church to Jesus his top priority, his rock foundation. And you and I, my dear friends in Christ, we are to do the same. But saints in the making, like Simon Peter, we can only do this by having the new name Christian and by making space for grace.